Well, tonight there's a push to change the way that school lockdowns are carried out in Rhode Island.
This comes after months that lawmakers spent studying the mental health impact these lockdowns can have on our students. In tonight's Crisis in the Classroom report, NBC 10's Liz Bateson breaks down the legislation.
I've eliminated the term lockdown.
Leaving lockdowns behind and instead referring to them as crisis response drills. It's all part of State Representative Jennifer Boylan's bill to change how these safety procedures are carried out.
There are so many real incidents that we can look at in our country where locking down and hiding in a room with an active shooter in the building with you is maybe not the best solution.
Drawing from real-life examples like the tragic school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside their classrooms.
The most recent horrific example of staying in the building with an active shooter is not always the best.
Under the bill, teachers would be trained at the beginning of the year on when to convert a lockdown situation into an evacuation. Superintendent of Lincoln Public Schools, Dr. Lawrence Filippelli, is also on the Rhode Island School Safety Commission and says in some situations, evacuations are the best safety practice.
Just because the incident may be taking place in one wing of the building doesn't mean that you can't communicate to the administrators and the police officers to evacuate the other wing of the building.
Students grades 6 through 12 would have training on crisis response procedures in October, and all grades would perform the drill in January. All students would take part in a debriefing procedure after the drill.
Students have a very high rate of stress when those things happen. And so, I think students today, certainly in the last 10 years, are used to lockdown drills and they're used to evacuation drills, but it's maybe some of the unintended consequences on what those drills look like school to school. So the legislation was really born out of a desire to really kind of standardize what that would look like for districts across the state.
Liz Bateson, NBC 10 News.
And you can share your questions, comments, concerns about your child's education with us. Call 401-455-9123 or